13 WMAZ Morning starts now.
Well, yeah, it was hot yesterday. We broke a record 87 on November 7th. And broke the record of 85 set back in 1986 and 2003. Is there any more of this in the forecast, or are we going downhill? I'll show you those details coming up.
I didn't miss my mom.
We are following the latest updates on a shooting in Warner Robins' home that left 3 people dead. What we know this morning, plus.
The Hancock County Sheriff's Office had been out to the Greer home multiple times in efforts to try to assist that family.
An update on the Brianna Greer case. We break down why the DA for Hancock County won't see criminal charges in Greer's death.
I'm TJ Anthony, live in Bibb County. Coming up, we tell you what you need to know as you head to the polls.
Alrighty then, well, good Tuesday morning, Central Georgia. You're taking a live look over the fairgrounds in beautiful Houston County. Just take a look at this picture. It's a start to a beautiful morning. It's now 6:31 here on this November the 8th. I'm Wanye Reese.
And I'm Caitlin Heck. It's nice to finally see the sunrises again throughout the show.
Exactly. We finally have the extra daylight now, Alex, and we can finally see the sunrise, no fog or anything like that.
Yeah, well, it's still hanging on to fog in a few spots, but certainly not widespread like we saw just a few mornings ago. In fact, yesterday morning and the past few mornings, but an awesome sunrise down in Perry. The sun will officially come up at 6:58. Temperatures also not all that bad this morning. In fact, way above average. 70 in Milledgeville, 71 in Forsyth, 62 in Macon this morning, and 66 over in Cochrane. So there's that fog down there in Eastman, but for the most part, the rest of Central Georgia doing pretty okay this morning. So if you know of any spots that are, say, fog prone, you might run into some there. Otherwise, we are quiet. There's the southeast, not a whole lot going on. Some scattered showers up across Tennessee and Kentucky this morning. A tropical system way back there. This is subtropical storm Nicole. Winds of 45 miles an hour. This thing could bring us wind and rain by the end of the week. I've got more details on that here in a few minutes. But first, it is election day. 80 degrees going to be the high temperature. Calling it sunny. No reason to not get out and vote today. Like I said, sunrise is going to come your way at about 6:58 this morning. And in fact, let's take a look at your election day forecast here in the polling booth as we go hour by hour through the day today. 60s this morning, giving way to 70s here through the morning hours. 80 itself going to be the high before we're back down into the 60s tonight while we count the votes. I've got much more on this subtropical storm coming up here in just a few moments.
Thank you, Alex. Right now, 3 people are dead after a shooting at a home in Bonaire.
The Houston County Coroner's Office says Warner Robins police were asked to do a check on Egerton Way yesterday. They found Betsy and Tierra Burke and Antoine Everett shot dead inside. Dozens of family and friends stood outside of the home for hours just waiting for answers.
I didn't miss my mom.
Our heart breaks for them. The families of the victims say the only thing they can do now is comfort each other and try to get past the pain.
Now, if you have any information on this shooting, you should reach out to the Warner Robins Police Department. Their number, it's 478-302-5380. That number again for you, and we just brought it up at the bottom of your screen. It's 478-302-5380.
And now that happened just hours after Warner Robins police found 2 people dead at the Chatham Park Apartments on Cohen Walker Drive. Police say someone asked them to check on someone there, and officers found 2 dead bodies around 8:30 yesterday morning.
So far, the people are only identified as a man and a woman. We're waiting to get their names and identification and more info on how they died exactly. We'll update you once we find out that information.
Well, this morning, Hancock County deputies will not face charges in the death of a woman injured in their custody several months ago.
Brianna Greer died 6 days after falling from a patrol car and hitting her head. District Attorney T. Wright Barksdale says a GBI investigation shows the deputies committed no crime.
The Hancock County Sheriff's Office had been out to the Greer home multiple times in efforts to try to assist that family. And quite frankly, it's not the Sheriff's Office that should be responding. It should be medical professionals.
Now, Greer's parents say she was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Video of Brianna's arrest for public drunkenness showed deputies failed to lock the patrol car door. She fell out of the cruiser a few minutes later, getting critical head injuries. The family still wants an independent autopsy.
6:34 now. Soon, Warner Robins police officers won't patrol the halls of Houston County schools. Mayor Rhonda Patrick says the district recently decided to work with only one agency for the school resource officer program, and that's going to be the Houston County Sheriff's Office. At City Council last night, Mayor Patrick says the resource officer at Northside will move and join the Warner Robins High officer. This is until the Sheriff's Office has the staff to support the program on their own.
They originally wanted to put both for officers at Northside High School, but I said it is extremely imperative that we continue that relationship that Officer Juan has made with those students. I didn't see value in taking our very seasoned officer who's been there for that long, developing those relationships out of the school into another school.
In a statement, the district said in part, this change will not reduce the number of SROs we currently have. In fact, we hope to be able to add additional SROs in the future. Right now, the school board is working on getting us a timetable for these changes. It's now 6:35, 2.5 million. That's the number of Georgians that voted early for the November election.
Now, if you weren't part of that turnout, today is your day to head to the polls. And our morning reporter, TJ Anthony, is live to tell you everything that you need to know. Good morning, TJ.
I'm TJ Anthony, live at Appling Middle School, one of the more than 30 polling locations that Bibb County voters can vote in. Now, more than 25,000 Bibb voters actually voted early, and more than 2 million Georgians voted early statewide. This just shows how important this election is this go-round. Now, if you're going out to vote today, here's what you need to know.
Right now is a good time for our country to come together, everyone to stand up so their voice can be heard.
Alicia Roberts does not take her constitutional right to vote for granted. That's why she voted early.
And it's important that we continue to exercise that right.
We have really good voter registration, but our voter participation hasn't always been what it should be. And so seeing more numbers is a good thing.
If you choose to exercise your right to vote on November 8th, Thomas Gillen, the interim election supervisor for Bibb, says the large early turnout may make things go more smoothly on election day.
The more people we show up here, there should be not quite as many to show up on election day.
The polls open across Georgia from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It is now easier for someone to challenge your voter status. If that happened and you find out at the polls, here's what you need to know.
We have a process that if someone challenges their registration, we're going to let them vote a hand-marked ballot, and the board will have a hearing, and the challenger will have to prove their case, and if they don't, then the vote counts.
Roberts says overall voting is about her voice being heard.
We have a right, just as anyone else, to verbalize our concerns in our country.
Now, Bibb County voters can find their polling locations multiple different ways. One, the Bibb Board of Elections website. Click the Find My Polling Place and it will ask you for your address. Then it will provide you your polling location and even give you directions to it. The second way, the My Voter page on the Secretary of State's website. Log in and scroll to the bottom. Then you can print your precinct card or get it emailed to you. Live in Macon, TJ Anthony, 13 WMAZ News. Back to you all.
Thank you so much, TJ, for that report. You can also print a sample ballot on the My Voter page as well.
Now let's walk you through what some of you might see on the ballot. Let's start in Houston County and go from the top with the federal positions there. Houston County voters are among those who will help decide the seat for U.S. House District 2. Republican Chris West challenging incumbent Sanford Bishop there. In District 8, the incumbent Republican Austin Scott defending his seat from Democrat Darius Butler. Let's take a look at the state positions on Houston County ballots. For Georgia Senate District 18, Democrat Chris Benton hopes to unseat Republican John F. Kennedy. For Georgia House District 146, Republican Shaw Blackman will defend his seat from Democrat Courtney Driver. And for Georgia House District 147, there's two newcomers. That's Republican Bethany Ballard facing Democrat Ariel Phillips. On the county level, two men hope to join Houston County Commission. Republican Shane Gottwalls and Democrat Tim Riley hope to fill the post 2 seat there.
Now on to Bibb County. U.S. House District 2 stretches into parts of several counties, including Bibb. Voters would choose between Republican Chris West and the incumbent Democrat Sanford Bishop. The same is true for U.S. House District 8, the race between incumbent Republican Austin Scott and Democrat Darius Butler. Some Bibb voters are also casting ballots in the Georgia Senate District 18 race. Democrat Chris Benton and incumbent Republican John F. Kennedy are on the ticket. Then there's State Senate District 25. Republican Rick Williams is running against Democrat Valerie Rogers. For State House District 144, there's Republican Dale Washburn. He faces Democrat Nettie Connor. The only local race on the ballot here in Bibb County, that's the Water Authority. 5 people are running for the District 2 position. That includes Desmond Brown, Lindsay Holliday, Jeff Howell, Michelle Parks, and Marshall Talley.
And coming up in just a few minutes, we'll take a look at other races we're following, including some big state races. Plus, we'll use our election tracker to show you how the balance of power in Washington could shift. But first, we're going to head it over to Alex. He has a look at your forecast. Thankfully, a great day to head out to the polls.
Yeah, that's right. We're seeing temperatures in the 70s later on this afternoon, topping off somewhere near 80. And how about this sunrise?
First time the DUB.
Yeah, first time we've seen a sunrise during the morning show in quite a while, because of course we had all the fog and all those clouds yesterday morning. We've got temperatures in the 60s and still hanging on to even 70 right now in Milledgeville, 67 in Perry, 64 in Warner Robins, and waking up to 62 in Macon right now, 64 in Montezuma, 70 in Gordon, as well as in Milledgeville, and 67 in Sandersville. Some fog still down in Dodge County this morning. Outside of that, mainly clear across the area. One or two patchy spots will remain possible as we head through the morning hours, though. So let's check everything out here on Future View as we roll on through the day. Today, we're going to be looking at temperatures again into the 70s here by the noon hour, topping off somewhere near 80 later on this afternoon. That's what I'm going with for the high temperature. And then by 5 p.m. tonight, still mostly clear. Notice a wind out of the northeast. That's going to allow temperatures to cool off a bit more through the overnight hours, down into the upper 40s before all is said and done. Here we are about 7 a.m. 48 in Macon, 47 in Warner Robins. That strong northeasterly wind going to last throughout the day today from the combination of the tropical system down towards the south, high pressure to the north, setting up somewhat of a wedge effect here across central Georgia. So warming up only into the 60s tomorrow afternoon, and then right back down into the 50s as we increase the cloud cover into Thursday. Notice some showers out Interstate 16 there Thursday morning. As we get into Thursday afternoon and evening, hello, yeah, that's a whole lot of rain and a whole lot of wind moving its way into central Georgia by way of what is now subtropical storm Nicole. The 4 a.m. advisory has winds of about 45 miles an hour on this. Let's take a look at the track as we roll on into the next few hours, looking at a Category 1 hurricane in the next few days. That is Thursday at about 1 a.m. there, 75 mile an hour winds. Landfall anywhere from the Jacksonville area down to Fort Lauderdale. So where exactly it makes that turn will have implications for us in terms of our impacts. And as we roll on into Friday here at 1 a.m., a weak tropical storm somewhere near Valdosta, and then ejecting towards the north along a cold front are going to be up in the D.C. area by Saturday morning. So moving pretty quickly, and because it's going to be moving pretty quickly, our impacts are not going to be all that long lasting. Starting Thursday afternoon and evening, here we are at about 10 p.m. Notice the center of the storm still down towards the south, lifting towards the north here. Friday at about noon, still looking at the rain across central Georgia, and then it's out of here by the evening hours on Friday. Here we are Saturday morning. The back edge now going through Charlotte at that point. That's according to the GFS. Here's how it looks on the Euro, something similar. Rain building in as we head into Thursday afternoon and evening. Rain overnight into Friday morning. Still hanging around central Georgia, but then out of here Friday evening. So if you have any outdoor plans for Friday evening, it does look like we're still looking okay on that front. The majority of this should come on the front end. Now, on the front end of the rainfall, we're already going to be looking at winds gusting up to 40 miles an hour beginning tomorrow here in central Georgia. Again, the combination of the storm down to the south, high pressure to the north allows the wind gradient to kick up a little faster. So that's going to last Wednesday, Thursday, and for the first part of Friday. As of now, I'm not too concerned about a tornado threat at the moment, but it's something we'll be watching for here in the days ahead. Also concluding right now, in fact here, I think right about now, 2 minutes ago it concluded, the total eclipse, a total lunar eclipse at that, so that was pretty neat to see this morning. If you saw the moon, it probably had a red tint to it. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast for Election Day. 60s giving way to 70s later on this morning, 77 there by about the 11 a.m. hour. And when polls close tonight at 7, look for a temperature right around 66. Here's your 7-day forecast, 67 for tomorrow. Wind and rain for Thursday and Friday. Friday, of course, being Veterans Day. Then on the flip side of this system, cooler, going with 54 for Sunday, 55 for Monday. Temperatures near freezing both mornings.